Had a spirited discussion today with a friend about the election. He's not happy. And when I say spirited discussion, he gave me a spirited rundown of why he's not happy. I listened. He's very intelligent and he's highly educated, and he's an attorney. So he really knows the law very well. And from a factual perspective, he probably understands issues better than I do. So at first, I found myself kind of feeling inferior to him because I couldn't counter his arguments. And then I realized I didn't need to counter his arguments. I just needed to listen to what he had to say, because he wasn't necessarily looking to have a back and forth discussion. He needed to get some stuff off his chest. So I listened and then was able to say things that I wanted to say. But it also reminded me that that there are people who are really upset about this election and who are not looking forward to what they think is going to happen in the next 4 years. So I don't know if I can explain why I am not concerned. Maybe I should be concerned. I don't know. But I also feel like I have more pressing things happening. And it is kind of interesting to note that the election feels far away for me. Like, whoever the president is does not seem to affect me right now. It's not a big fact on my radar. I voted. I'm happy that I voted, but it's not a big emotional charge for me. It wouldn't have been a big deal either way. There probably is an effect on my life, depending on who the president is, but I don't know what that is, and I don't know if there is one. I think the president has less effect than a lot of people say. There are a lot of other levers of government and people who work in various levels of government. And for the president to do something, by the time it trickles down to me, it's been a long time, or it may have been diffused. So whoever the president is in Washington, D.C. does not feel like the most pressing thing to me. When I lived in Massachusetts, it felt heavier, maybe because I was closer geographically. And I think that is a big thing in this country that I didn't appreciate until I moved to California. I thought we were so connected because of technology that geography didn't matter. And that's not the case. Geography matters a lot. And even though I can see the president from Washington, D.C. on my television, I don't think it's the same as being close to him physically on the East Coast. And my friend has legitimate reasons to be concerned. Uh, he went not just through the president, but through the propositions that were voted on here in California. I think he voted differently from me on almost all of them. And as he walked through them, he's got a different point of view. And I found myself questioning and doubting the choices that I had made. Because he's got a very valid point of view. And I think I started thinking maybe his point of view is more valid than mine, and maybe I made the wrong choices. And that's understandable, but that's also the beauty of the voting system. Each vote is individual, and we vote the way that feels right for us. And it's imperfect. And after I got off the phone with him, I started to think through the situations and realized that I had valid reason to vote the way I did. It didn't have to be the same as him. He's a very persuasive person. But it doesn't mean that he's correct or that his view is the only view. It's interesting because these measures are complex. You don't know who's going to be affected or how they're going to affect people, because what it says on the paper is what somebody wants you to understand. Ideally, it's phrased factually, but it's not the whole story. You don't know what all the effects are going to be if something is put into place. And then once you put something into place, it's almost impossible to take it out of place. Laws don't get repealed in this country. Laws get passed, and then we pass other laws to counteract those laws. So it's just laws building up on each other. We're not good at going the other way, just like we're not good at spending less money. Those are things that I think it's worth getting good at.